So, what does anime mean for me? Anime for me is just like another film genre, or really just another art platform for anyone to work with.
Anime to me is kind of like an escape. It's kind of like video games. It's a moment to kind of find an interest in something, find something new, and just take a moment to breathe and enjoy it.
There's definitely many different types of shows, or just like there's many different types of paintings, and there's some that are other people's tastes, and there's some that may appeal to you but not to someone else. My personal favorite Kyoto Animation show is Violet Evergarden. It does focus on a lot of internal anxiety, that fights that you really are fighting against yourself. The themes of it is kind of showing that you still have self-worth, even with your downsides, and you still can make a positive impact.
I'm not a very emotional person, or at least I try not to show it, but almost every episode I cried. Because it's just that, it's that heartfelt, you kind of connect with the character, Violet. Even though you haven't been through what she has, you can understand her pain and you kind of walk through her journey with her. And it's honestly a very heartfelt and moving story, and you can understand that she is facing herself as well as trying to get accustomed to her surroundings and living in an environment that she wasn't quote-unquote built for, that she was raised to be in.
And not to mention the animation for it. So freaking beautiful. It uses 2D and 3D animation. When you use both of them for that effect, it's really beautiful, especially with all the nature shots, and it's just inspired me in so many ways. It just really makes me want to do my best to live my own life to the fullest.
I think that's why it's one of my favorites. A Silent Voice comes a close second.
A Silent Voice is definitely a very deep film. Like, for instance, it's probably one of the more films that kind of shocked me, especially with the opening scene. It really does dive into a lot of internal struggles. Also, one of the main characters is actually deaf, and just kind of going through life of that. But the main character used to be more of a bully to that deaf girl, and he really did a lot of things that were not good at all. Just really despicable things in life. But the thing is, he was also a boy at the time. But the film resumes many years later, but it's kind of more like owning up to your mistakes, owning up to your past actions, and kind of more maturing. That's really, I feel, what A Silent Voice is, and kind of like more redemption, feelings of second chance. And we all go through our own issues as well. So, and it's just kind of be there and just to kind of breathe in and out, and everything will be okay.
It's a very beautifully well-made animation. There's one scene that stuck with me the most, which was near the end when I believe they're in a crowded area. I can't remember where at exactly. I think it was the school festival. But it's like all the X's that would cover everyone's faces just peeled away. And that stuck with me because I've been stuck in a situation for people who are close to me. It kind of hit me to where I couldn't remember what their faces looked like. It was like they were blacked out. There was just this black circle that like blurred their face a bit. And it also happened with just random people around me. It was kind of the same situation that he was in. And I've also hit a moment to where those black circles faded away, those X's peeled off. I would recommend it to someone who is new to anime. You kind of like always get the question like, what anime would you recommend your friend or your mom or your dad to watch to kind of get them into it? I honestly think that a lot of the animes that Kyoto really fit that description on what you could recommend.
In comparison to Violet Evergarden and Silent Voice, those are like deep dramas. Dragon Maid is basically a full-on comedy, and it's just so much fun to watch. And it's just the wacky insanity of it, and especially with the main character, Toru. I just relate so much to her.
It's an anime that you can sit down and it can act as an escape, as what I was talking about in the beginning. The others can act as one as well, but those are kind of like where you're like, I'm kind of in the feels now, kind of thing. But with this, it's kind of, it's something that you can eat food, have a good laugh, and just Watch the characters just live their life. See how they act in the situation that they're in.
So it's just really a wacky feel-good show, and about her kind of also similar to Violet Evergarden, adjusting to modern life. But the thing is, it's definitely way more of a humorous take, and not as really deep. It's definitely more action-packed, more like, and it's relentless with humor. So I do recommend watching Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid if you ever get the opportunity.
A man setting an animation studio on fire, quickly engulfing the entire building, and the numbers are staggering. At least 33 people were killed, and what he said right beforehand.
A man in his 40s entered. Witnesses say shouting, "Die, die," pouring highly flammable liquid and setting it alight.
Dozens died in their offices despite firefighters' efforts to save them. With the main exit blocked by flames, many employees were sent scrambling up this staircase trying to reach the roof. Many of the victims' bodies found just steps from that exit.
In all, 70 people were inside the building. Barely half made it out alive.
My initial reaction to the arson attack, I remember I was at my therapist and I was just waiting on an appointment. Initially when I first saw it, I thought it was literally like a joke or something, or like fake news. I didn't believe the words I was saying. And it didn't really hit me at the moment that what happened was really at the scale of it. Even when I realized it real, like I was thinking it wasn't that big. And just the more news came out of it, the more my heart broke. It really hurts, and it's hard to put to words just how knowing that the people that you really connected to, just to the creators of this art, the art piece that you adore, and just knowing that they're gone. And it's just like, and not only that, but they died in such a brutal fashion that no one should ever, ever go through. And the fact that they did, it really destroys me. And there's not a single day that goes by since that I don't think about it. Some days are easier than others, like it might be a minor thought, or another day might be a full-on panic attack. Kyoto Animation would focus maybe like an antagonist to really be yourself, or there may be no antagonist, or something like that. And it's really just more internally like digesting your past actions and your regrets, and really the pain of doing that, but to still be optimistic, to be uplifting about that. It really gave me hope, and for someone to freaking destroy that, and for them to burn them alive.
Seeing that it happened just kind of made me really question humanity a lot, and how some people could really take up to doing such an action. You always have your disputes, you always have your disagreements, your arguments, and I'm not sure of the motives of the attacker, but I can't stand with him. I can't understand his reasonings for doing so, and it's honestly very unfortunate and tragic that those who were affected by it, both viewers and those a part of the animation crew.
It just hurts that so many people, especially so many talented people that created, in my opinion, the best animation I've seen, and just connected to me, and for them to die in that manner. It hurts beyond anything I could comprehend, any word I could say. It freaking hurts. Do I have anything to say to the viewers who are having a hard time coping with the attack? You are not alone. You're not alone in dealing with this, and I know there may be people that don't give a crap about it, and there's maybe people that just don't understand your emotions. I know some people, for me, like they're just going, "Why are you crying? You don't even know them." You have every right to mourn about it. It's okay to cry. It's okay to express whatever emotion you're feeling at the moment, and just know that we will pull through with this, and we have been pulling through with this so far. And even though nothing's going to be the same afterwards, just remember that, again, fortunately, you are still living at the moment, and do your best to live your life to the fullest like they did.
We all have our strengths, we all have our weaknesses, but our weaknesses don't exactly make us weak.
So, with how Kyoto Animation is recovering, do you have anything to say about their comeback?
I'm honestly really proud because a lot of the time in a situation like that, it's common for someone to just, be like, well, if people are gonna take this extent to stop us, maybe we should listen. And I'm glad that they didn't. I'm glad that they've pushed forward. They are continuing what they're doing because they love doing what they're doing. You can tell.
It's astonishing for how they were able to do a 180, especially when the odds being against them, not mentioning with the attack, but also with COVID and dealing with everything. And for having so limited amount of people in there, in the studio, it's really incredible that they're still able to finish the project that they started. It's incredible they got Violet Evergarden and Eternity and the Auto Memories novels to theaters. It's incredible that Violet Evergarden movie is actually finished, and they're also doing Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid Season 2. It definitely shows that the impossible is possible for better and for worse, and that they're going to still push on even with all the difficulties.
So seeing how they're recovering and seeing the comeback that they're making, I'm honestly proud of how they're managing and how much they've accomplished and are planning to still accomplish.
So what does Kyoto Animation mean to me? I mean, they're just a company, and that's something you do need to acknowledge, but they really expose the imperfections in the work of people. Like, that's really what I feel Kyoto Animation. Like, and what I mean by the imperfection, showing that no one is perfect, no one's like the absolute perfect person. No, everyone has their flaws or downsides. No one, and it shows that everyone, no matter how brave they may look, they still have their breaking points and their moments that they just need to cry.
What I think of their group is someone I have to thank for giving me that time to breathe and a time to connect to characters that I would have never known if they weren't created. I wouldn't have those connections because so many people face so many different stories. And even though I face a different story than what, Violet Evergarden or what Shoko faces, I still can connect, unlike how I could connect with a few of my friends.
I wish them all the best of luck, and thank you for all the impacts that they have made on me. Like, for how they impacted me for the better, for how they affected me in my own personal work, for how I try to find ways to be optimistic, especially with my own stories, and even with my own life. And I try to do my best to live my life to the fullest. And I'm thankful for them to actually help bringing a smile to my face, making me feel that I'm not alone, and help push me onwards and challenge myself. So best of luck going forward.